And we are back with another artist who just finished his set. We've got Steve Farrell here. So excited to have you. You killed it. This guy brought in Creed. This guy brought in like the legendary stuff I grew up with. So I'm super excited to get to know what's on your mind right now. How do you feel post-show?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me. This was quite the experience. This is actually my first show since when I was in college, when I used to DJ in San Marcos. So besides playing bars and friends' weddings, things like that, this was actually my first show. So it was amazing. I had so many friends show up, people I haven't seen in a while. So it was such a magical moment. It was great.
That's incredible, Steve. I am so excited. You crushed it out there. I would have thought you've been a headliner for years. You crushed it. So, the whole theme of this is kind of this, what's on your mind? What's on my mind? The WOM event. So I'd love to hear, what was on your mind? I saw you here in the green room about 5 minutes before you went on. What was on your mind, Steve?
Well, I just like to do a little bit of pre-show ritual, and that is practicing mindfulness and manifestation. So I took about 5 to 10 minutes to write down the 5 things that I really wanted to accomplish with my set. So I think one of those was having as much fun as I could during my set, putting on as much as a show, remembering to smile, things like that. And so, it was just getting in the right headspace and going out there and giving it all I had. Yeah. You
really brought it, and you always have a big smile on your face. I love that, and you feel that in your music. Your music
Awesome.
is happy, it's very vibey, and I just love how you kind of created this journey with the bangers, and then you brought in some tech house in there, and then you brought in the ballads, the Creed at the end. I just thought you wrapped it up really beautifully. So
thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, my influence for that is I grew up driving around in my dad's car, his 94 Honda Civic, and he was just playing the oldie goldies all day. So it's whatever generation your parents grew up in, that's the music you probably listen to. So for me, it made a really big impact on my life. And so when I was developing Steve Farrell, I was how am I going to create something that's original, that's unique, something that's going to cut through the noise? And for me, that's, was the easiest answer. So here we are.
I love it. And that is the music many of us grew up and loved.
Yeah.
And so I grew up on that stuff. It reminded me of, I was my sister. She's about 15 years older than me.
Okay.
She would have been loving all of these tracks because that was her era of music. So
awesome.
I love that, Steve. So now thinking ahead, what have you got next? You have this momentum. You did this big show. What's on your mind for next?
Yeah, so I'm going to keep staying in my lane. I'm going to keep doing I call it the all American house music remixes. So my goal is just once a month put out a new edit or a new remix. But the next stage of this is going to be possibly rewriting or getting rights to reproduce some of these old tracks and release them as originals. So going forth and finding vocalists or other artists to collab with, re-record the masters, and then hopefully you'll see them on Spotify soon.
Oh, that's incredible. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So, what has been your biggest takeaway from this experience? What would you tell an artist who's getting ready for their big first show?
Yeah.
What would you say?
I was full of nerves. I was very I had nervous energy, but as soon as I got on stage, pressed that cue button, play button for the first time, it all went away, and it was just love and energy straight out the gate. Yeah.
I dig it.
Well, all I got to say is just follow your dreams and do you. If you want this, if it's something on your mind, it's something in your body telling you that you need to do it. Whether it's music, entrepreneurship, whatever it is, if you have that burning desire, that voice in the back of your head that's always coming up again, you just got to go for it. What are you going to lose? You got one life, so.
That is so true. That's been something that's been on my mind lately is really going for those things that I maybe would have said no to. So I think that's really powerful, and anybody can take away something from that. So I really appreciate that. So Steve, how can people find you? How can they listen to your music? Drop your handles.
Yeah, for sure. So you can find me on Instagram at Steve_Farrell. I'm also on SoundCloud, Steve Farrell, Spotify, Steve Farrell, everything Steve Farrell. So just Google my name, it'll come up, and follow me, and I would love to connect with you and hopefully see you at a future show.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Steve, and thanks. We are going to be back for more artist stories as we go throughout this WOM event evening. It's been incredible. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you, Kay. Appreciate it.